Hi, Internet. We're here to play Dungeons and Dragons or something like that.
Whatever the fuck this game is.
Basically. Alright! So, to get on with it, we are returning to the party from last week after they investigated an ancient temple and found a bunch of shenanigans in what appeared to have been an ancient classroom of sorts. They had to solve several puzzles to get into it, one of which included a reverse gravity spell that they had, I don't know, some fun with, I guess. Once inside the temple, they found two objects inside of a room that seemingly stopped being a room when they went inside of it. It led out into this expansive forested area when they went out of this, what was essentially a tomb. Within that area, they found a marble plinth surrounded by four pillars. And on the plinth, there was a book and a small gemstone. When they took both of these objects, the four pillars lit up. And, well, that's it. The four pillars lit up. Figuring.
And Ren kicked one.
Yeah, and Ren kicked one, very angrily.
Tell us which ones they were now.
Oh, yeah, okay, I can tell you which one's lit up. On the upper left one, there was a symbol of a teardrop with an eye inside of it. On the upper right, there was this half star, or kind of two A's intersecting, one on its side. The lower left was what appeared to be maybe a tree or some kind of stylized spell of some sort. And on the bottom left, I believe that was the other one I didn't say, was what looked to be a hammer made out of lightning. And those are the four that lit up. From there, the party decided there was nothing left for them to do, so they would leave the room and head back to the caravan that poor Nenia had accidentally deserted and the rest of them had purposefully deserted.
I mean, not entirely purposely.
I mean, you guys said...
They didn't really care. They're just like, yeah, well...
Apathetically abandoned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Upon emerging from the hallway that they walked through, they emerged in a familiar forest for all of them save for Nenia. They knew it to be the forest right outside of their favorite town of Lyriel. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm all coffee. Stepping out into the forest, you guys immediately recognize it as the forest around Lyriel. It's quiet, the sun is out. It's getting a little chillier, though, and the trees are starting to turn a autumn color, autumnal. I don't really want to try and pronounce that. They were changing colors, and in the distance you could see the small town that you recognize from ye old days.
The little town is it a quiet village?
I hate you. You do see also the kind of shimmering outline of a bubble around it. A spell that Mist you helped raise over a year ago at this point, and it's still somewhat in place. It doesn't look as fortified, but it's definitely still there, and it's easy to identify by the way the sun passes through it and gets fragmented into several different colors. You guys walk up, kind of like, god damn it. And you stand at the edge of this bubble.
Yeah, wasn't there a way that Mist would be able to get back into it? Didn't she have a thing?
You guys could just go in.
Yeah, okay.
It's not like they're to stop you guys in particular. Or it might have once been, but at this point, not so much.
God. Yeah, Mist is like, well, are we going into town? And she probably just holds her hand out to it to see if it, like, will explode or anything if she touches it. And it's probably fine, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Like, for a second it feels like it's about to put up some resistance, but it's kind of like when you touch, like a really large bubble where the resistance is mostly, like, in your head, where you're like, of course this is going to be resistant, and then, boop, you go right through it.
Yeah. Yeah, Miss just steps in the thing and is sort of looking at the others. Are we going here? Or are we going somewhere else? I mean, we're here.
Yeah, we may as well get supplies.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I kind of want to look at this, and it's going to take me a while. We might want a room or something.
Yeah. Rolling in it is.
Okay, so you guys head on into town. The town is actually quiet. It is being rebuilt from the last time you saw it, which was during the demonic invasion. And there were some buildings that were still smoldering when you last left, and they're very clearly being rebuilt. But what looked like could have possibly become kind of like a busy village has returned back to the state it was in when you first started. It's quiet. There are people in the marketplace just chatting. As you guys walk in a little bit, you see a familiar face saunter up to you guys with a grim look on his face.
Oh.
And as he gets closer, you guys see his expression soften a bit and then harden back up.
We are the bearers of bad news. Often.
We never show up just to check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Toro walks up to you guys, and you see that there's now a big, broad greatsword strapped across his back, and he just looks at you guys, and... You guys finally here to chat, or just more bad news?
No,
I mean, I guess we're just here to chat, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
we kind of
Show
popped up
what-
here.
Walked out of a temple and sort of wound up here, so yeah, we're not really here for any big bad purpose.
Didn't you retire?
Well, you know, retirement's kind of a subjective term. Who's that? He points to you, Nenia.
Brand waits for Nydia to introduce
Yeah,
herself.
right. Yeah.
Friends better.
She'll step right up and like hold a hand out for a handshake.
He just looks down at it and looks up at you, Nenia, and squints, and then gives you his hand.
Okay, well, the stare down made her go for a weak handshake. My name's Nenia. Well, I was in the temple as well, and ended up with him.
Oh, these jackasses found a new friend. I'm so sorry.
But why?
wow.
They've
And
adopted you, haven't they?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to her, really. She can do what she
Thoughts
wants.
just here.
She sort of just tagged along.
He
Well,
looks down at Saint and then looks back up
Saint
at you
likes
guys
her.
and
I like her.
Yeah, I like it too.
She can come with us if she like.
he looks at you, Ren, and squints a little bit, and you getting sun these days, Rensweet? You be looking kind of shitty.
Par for the course, really.
Been a rough, year and a half since I last saw you guys?
I mean, I've been repairing Ardor, what, was left of it.
Single-handedly. Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
single-handedly.
Yeah.
That's where the muscle is coming from, and she lifts her arm and kind of flexes, and there's, nothing there.
She tried her best.
Impressive. Looks at you, Lafian. Just sighs and looks away.
Wait, hey. I wanted to know though, how's your family? Your wife was pregnant last time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Got a little baby boy.
Oh, how old is he now? A year? When did your wife give
I-
birth?
He's like four months old.
Oh,
He's-
they get cute around Saturday.
Yeah, he's pooping a lot. He's starting to walk.
Babies tend to do that.
He knows his name, so that's neat. I can call him and he wanders over to me. Or he falls, but you know, it's kind of funny, and then he starts crying and it's not funny, and then I get yelled at. Being a dad is hard.
I hear having a child is like having a dog that slowly learns how to talk.
He looks down at Saint. Saint looks up at him.
Hey, as an uncle, that is a more correct analogy than you might know.
Well, if he's anything like Saint, I guess. And then Saint just barks to interrupt him, and
Saint's a good boy.
right. So you actually just here to chat?
Yeah, maybe to stay for a bit.
While we figure out why we're here in the first place.
Well, you know, I might need some time to look over this book. If we want it unsealed, you know. Anyway.
Well, the Scrawly Inn's reopened officially. It's now the one tavern in town.
Weren't there 4 before?
Yeah, you know, business. It's not the best. Things it's slowed down around here, but there've been a few other towns opening up, so, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where did everyone go?
No, some of the folks decided to go and make other outpost towns since Sigil Watch opened up and the roads being traveled more often. Just one town wasn't enough.
Fair.
Yeah.
Who's running the Scrolly Inn now?
Oh, I don't know his name. It's some little halfling boy.
Halfling.
You got something?
Well, I mean,
Nah, never mind.
they're probably not a demon this time. We can hope so. If they
I
are, we
mean,
can deal
he's
with
kind of fat, so...
The murders were a simpler time, says Laffy as she looks off into the distance.
Yeah. I mean, you're
What I
not
wouldn't
wrong.
give to deal with a simple murder mystery again.
Yeah.
He just kind of gives you a dead look, Nenia.
She's not gonna say anything, but I think she's on the same wavelength as this guy.
Yeah. Well, huh? What?
Oh, I was gonna say, if you need anything, to let us know. You're still
I will definitely not be asking you guys.
fair.
Yeah, except like when something really big comes up and then it's like, oh, I need your help all of a sudden. Yeah,
And at
alright.
that point, you probably won't have much of a choice.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got to go get some groceries for baby Renner. He's hungry.
Ren squints at him.
Mrs. sucks her lips in and grins and says nothing.
Just he looks at you, Ren, like what?
Ren says absolutely nothing and starts walking away.
She's
As like,
You take care of your hungry boy. Bye.
my what?
as soon as they're like out of earshot, Bran is gonna look at Ren and just give her this fucking shit-eating grin. Named his kid after you.
He did not name his kid after me, of all people.
Yeah.
He really hung me.
Bran
Renna, Renswina, I mean, they don't even sound the same.
I beg to differ.
I was being sarcastic.
Ren is like she has like a hand over her eyes as she's walking, and is still walking in a straight line despite that. Like she doesn't seem to be missing a beat. She doesn't trip over anything. She
I
just,
mean,
she
Bran doesn't
walks
really. I mean, Bran knows that she's very acrobatic. He hasn't
Yeah,
really
she's,
much about
she's
that.
quick on her feet.
Yeah.
She got this.
as you guys are walking, The village is quiet. You hear the bustle of the market, which isn't quite the bustle. It's probably like 10 people. You walk past the green and you hear some kids playing, and you hear one yell, "I don't want to be the demons!" And then another yells, "We can't all be the heroes that save the world!"
No.
And then you hear the sounds of a fight.
As kids do.
Yeah.
Ah, kid.
It doesn't sound like a serious fight, it's just like squealing.
Luffy is uncomfortable.
A little kid just like flies out in front of you guys and is just running, screaming.
Missed the snickering, but
As
covering
kids
her
do.
mouth.
Yeah.
Luffy deftly avoids this child.
A ball goes flying overhead. It's lively, but in that really like everyone knows each other in the worst kind of ways.
My
Um,
God.
Yeah, small town, quiet village.
I know all that.
Every day like the one before.
Yeah. Um, Anyway, yeah, you guys do walk past some buildings being rebuilt. What looks like people that don't live in Lyriel or that are working. You see a few dwarves kind of calling out instructions. You don't see any elves. You eventually come upon the Scrawly Inn, which still has the same sign as before. It's looking a little charred and worse for wear, but it's rustic, so you know.
And style now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rustic's like the trend these days.
Those people with really big bushy beards and manicured mustaches really like it. So you
I
guys,
had that short of the manicured mustache.
it's fine. So you guys head on in, and immediately, it's you can tell that it's the same inn, but it's a bit less, or a bit less extra compared to the last time you were in here.
With the fire and the...
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely like reupholstered. It's nice. There's like this nice cherry wood fixtures that's all lacquered. The floor's kind of squeaky where it's been waxed recently as you guys shuffle across. Over in the corner next to a fire, you do hear the quiet strum of strings being tuned. You look over and there's this young gentleman with this stupid-looking hat that has a huge feather in it. And behind the bar, you do see a really rotund halfling. Like, he's as wide as he is tall.
Oh my God, that's alarming.
Yeah. So, he looks up at you guys and squeaks a little bit, and he's completely clean-shaven. He looks kind of like if you pushed him over, he'd just roll.
Oh
Oh
my
my
So he,
God.
he doesn't have a curly mustache.
No, he is just completely like, again, you're like, he is just a human, or he is a halfling orb. He's a horb.
Oh my God.
God.
A half lorb.
Yeah. He looks at you guys and, oh, hello, my name's Bert.
Hello there, Bert.
Greetings.
And Ren pauses for a minute, like completely turning like her attention away from Bert, and like looks at everyone and is like, "Wait, are we really going to spend money on accommodation when?" And she looks at Laffy.
I mean, we don't have to.
He's
Oh, I
overhearing
thought
this,
we were
and he's
gonna-
going on a face journey, by the way.
I thought we were gonna stay for, old time's sake, nostalgia. I mean, you guys
Yeah,
were
I
just
suppose.
walking, and I was like, sure, I guess this is what they want. I didn't, It's a little late now. Let's just get a room.
Yeah, can we have a
Several
room?
rooms.
Just
Can't
one.
stay in the
and-
overly
No,
lavish.
no. We need more than one room.
Oh, good. How many?
Luffy looks at the group.
Ren
He's like,
Ren slaps some coins down. One for me, thanks.
He He just kind of scoops it away and it disappears under the counter.
Yeah, Luffy just pays for her own fucking room. She's got enough gold.
Yeah, Bran
Right.
puts down enough for his own as well.
You do realize it's only like midday, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
I want a nap.
Just letting you know. There,
We just came from the desert.
room and board is included. There's dinner or supper rather, or whatever meal you prefer. There's like 6 because I get hungry.
I have no idea.
Uh,
Luffy jabs Ren in the ribs
Are
with her elbow.
I mean, I do too.
we officially open in about 4 hours.
Oh, sorry.
Well, it's fine. You paid, so that's all I care about. Anyway, goodbye.
See ya.
Alright, bye.
And he disappears behind the counter, and the taller of you guys look over, and he's kind of waddling. Like his,
Well, at least he's not floating.
Can you hear a tuba playing off?
Excuse me.
No.
Everything is fine.
when he turns to look at you guys, or when he turns to look at you, Mist, he has to shake on his feet a little bit to turn around. He can't just turn. And he looks at you and, yes, everything's fine. Why?
Oh, Miss just points to Ren. Is like, I was talking to her. Sorry.
Okay. And he shuffles to turn back around and waddle away.
Did you give us our keys?
I don't know. Do we need any?
I don't know.
I would assume so.
The keys are in the doors. Take them out when you're good.
In the doors.
Okay. Ren turns around and starts walking upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
Miss is like, Laffy, do you mind if I stay with you, or would you rather have some time to yourself?
What is privacy, really? Let's go.
Saint is sticking with you, Laffy and Mist, but he looks back at Nenia.
Yeah.
He's consistently looking at you,
Also-
Nenia, just to make sure you're coming with.
Yeah.
He's like, my
Yes.
human's gotta come.
Well, I guess if everyone's just kind of going fucking off and going to their own rooms, Bran's going to as well. He'll go examine the jewel a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, Mister's like, I'm going to see if I can get the wards off this book, and it's going to take me a while.
Okay, so you guys head up into your individual rooms. Saint curls up on the floor of your room, Laffy and Mist. So to go over to Bran first, what are you doing to the gem? Just kind of looking at it and looking it over?
Yeah, just seeing if there's any markings or anything that stands out.
Okay. While you're looking it over, make an Arcana check.
Oh man,
Okay.
first roll.
Fuck. What is my Arcana? It ain't great.
I believe in you, you bard. Okay. While you're flipping it over in your hands, you do see the vague outline of one of the symbols start to kind of shimmer inside of it, like something inside of a marble. But you can't quite make out what it is, but it's only there when you're holding it. When you set it down, it goes away.
Huh.
Yeah, and it's warm to the touch when you hold it, but other than that, it's not unremarkable because it is a gemstone, but it doesn't seem like it's going to do anything fancy anytime soon. Or of its own volition, at least.
Well, Bran he'll mess around with it until he gets bored.
Okay.
Then he'll.
You hold it, and it changes into a sword. And then it changes back, and you figure out that you can kind of do that at will.
Neat.
But you cannot make it change into anything other than a sword. So you're just like boop 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 boop.
If nothing else, it'll be a neat potlatch, right?
All right, so we're gonna go over to Nenny. What are you doing?
Well, she probably told them that she needed a moment to muster her bags. Max, I don't know how much money she has, if any.
She had about
So-
250 gold on her.
Okay. Alright, well, if she had money then. She probably fussed around her bag, quiet in the background, and then, got her own room, too, and followed behind, because who could say no to the puppy and follow Saint to
Okay.
her own room. But, I guess she'd be looking over the copper necklace she got and sort of bought from the ruins, and
Mhm.
just kind of reflecting on her day and how her life turned upside down and wasn't what she was expecting at all, and she doesn't know what she's gonna do with her new friends.
Okay.
So,
The necklace is kind of warm in your hands.
okay.
A little like suspiciously so. You kind of actually make a religion check for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Religion. Alright.
Damn.
Oh my god.
It is
Oh,
certainly.
great.
You're like, this is a cool necklace, huh?
Oh my
Like in the
God.
back of your mind, something's like, this might be special, but the front of your mind is just, man, today was weird.
Pretty much.
You're too distracted to focus.
Yeah.
It was a weird fucking day.
Yeah, it was a rough day.
Okay.
Okay, and Saint is actually like padding between your room and Laffy and Mist's room, like he's not sure who to spend time with.
Did he
No.
learn
Yeah.
how to open doors?
Yeah, he did.
I mean, Mist would be like, at some point, Mist would be like, hey, Saint, did you want to help me with the dispelling ritual?
He bounds over and sits on the floor and wags his tail across the floor like he's a mop.
Excellent.
Ren, what are you doing?
Ren like gets into her room, closes the door, walks over to the bed, sits on the bed, pauses, waits until she hears everyone else having settled into the room, gets up, opens the door really quietly, and then leaves.
Oh my god!
Okay.
And she's gonna go wander around
As she do. Yeah.
Okay. You pop out of your room and out of the inn, and Bert doesn't question it. You see him again. He's behind the bar still, doing something that you don't pay any attention to him. You see that he's there and he's not being suspicious, so that's good enough for you.
Yeah.
So you head on out, and yeah, it is quiet. It is nice. In the distance, there's the quiet ringing of an anvil being struck. As you walk around, you do notice that the village is significantly less populated than it once was.
Yeah.
But not in like the depressing sort of way, but rather in the like people left on good terms sort of way. Everyone seems kind of at peace.
Huh. That's nice.
Yeah.
Ren finds a nice tree to sit under, and then proceeds to climb it and sit on it instead.
Okay. You find a tree and you climb it.
All right.
Did it.
She sits there for a nondescript amount of time.
Okay. Mist, I need you to make an Arcana check here.
What an exciting life she leads.
With advantage because you're playing with Saint.
Hey.
She's gotta be dramatic and angsty in her tree.
Is she still
Damn.
injured?
Natural 20 on one of those.
Yeah, Ren is still injured.
Yeah, totally.
Gosh.
She's injured and brooding in a tree.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. All right, Mist. You and Saint are sitting there, working on a spell. A small globe of light surrounds the book as you and Saint work on it. Laffy, what are you doing while they're doing that?
But Laffy is sitting there and she's like, I never know where to put my tongue in my mouth. Like, do you ever just get keenly aware of your own tongue? Because I do.
If Mist, she's probably can't speak.
Yeah,
because she's doing this thing, but she says with telepathy, yes, Sabatis are fucking weird.
Yeah. And that's what Laffy's doing.
Okay, so over the next few hours, Mist, you and Saint continue to work your spell. Laffy, you continue to be weird.
Laffy doesn't know where to put her tongue in her mouth for the next hour.
Yeah, she spends like a solid hour trying to find a comfortable place for her tongue. It's just like, oh my god! She has a small panic attack over it. She's having a fucking journey over there.
Laffy paces the room.
Okay. After about an hour, Mist, the book, the light around the book fades and it cracks open a little bit.
If she uses Eldritch Sight, does it look like the weird words keeping it closed are gone?
They don't look gone, they just look deactivated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you open the book and it's blank.
Yeah. Mist just seems really amused. She uses see invisibility.
There's nothing. It's a blank book.
You know, can she? Is it actually blank? Can she use like, or she's wondering if it's like illusory script.
Okay, using Eldritch Sight on the pages. I mean, the book is magic, but the pages are blank. There's nothing hidden on the pages.
Okay. Well, we got it open. There's nothing in it. Isn't that exciting?
What do you mean there's nothing in it?
I mean, there's nothing visibly in it at the moment.
Laffy walks over and she's gonna squint real hard.
Yeah, Mist shows Laffy the book and then, like,
it's
she
blank.
Considers and she hands it to Laffy and she looks over Laffy's shoulders. Something happens.
Laffy holds the book.
Nothing happens. It's a
Laffy
little
Laffy
heavy.
Turns the book around.
It's still a little heavy.
She turns the book around again.
It's not getting any lighter.
She shakes it.
The pages flap a bit.
Are there any symbols on the book, like on the outside covers or the inside covers?
No, it's suspiciously just kind of nondescript.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is
I wonder
very
why it was
suspicious.
sealed so difficultly. There's nothing here. I bet there is. or it's someone who just thinks it's rather amusing to seal in a blank book. Which I would do, honestly.
It's about this time that, it is now getting late. It's like now evening-ish. What do you guys do now that it's later? You can hear, those of you in your rooms can hear that the tavern itself is open. There's people coming in. You hear the bardic boy start to pick up a tune. You're not sure if he's good or not.
You can't
For a little
decide.
while, Bran mildly considers going down there and like challenging him to a bard off, but then he's
Oh
like,
my God. You gotta.
Battle of the Bards! Battle of the Bards!
Bard. No, he's just like, nah.
Okay.
Yeah, Miss lets the tentacles mess with the book while she's looking at Laffy, and she's like, "Should we find the others?"
I mean, what are we gonna tell them? Like, hey, we got the book open, there's nothing inside, big news.
I mean, fair. I could look at the other ones that I got. I got several others. I wonder if there's any there.
Books? Oh yeah, from the library. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe. Maybe there's something in those books to tell us what's in the book. Maybe it has something to do with the symbols.
You know, I was also wondering that too. Yeah, so Mist is gonna look over the books that she got from the library carefully and, with the knowledge of how to handle such things. She probably also used general repose on,
Okay.
on each of them.
I need you to make a... Hold on. I need to see what I want you to do here. Just make a dexterity ability check.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Just your dex modifier plus a 20.
I'm gonna see if this works.
Yeah.
Oh, that still has advantage.
Yeah,
I
turn
think it's
off
just the first one.
Yeah, we'll just take the first one. Okay, you're able to flip through some of the pages. It is old text. And some of them are kind of like ledgers, you're pretty sure. They just detail, like, shipments, some numbers that aren't very impressive.
But shipments of what?
Food, as far as you can
Oh.
tell.
Weird.
Like, supplies, that sort of stuff. A few of them look like they might be, like, textbooks. One looks like it might be human anatomy. Old human anatomy, to the point where you look at it and you're like, you're like this weird body thing going on, and even you
Yeah.
are like, I don't think this is right.
Yeah.
There's like some basic math. Nothing super interesting in these.
So not the journals either. She got like 4 books and 2 journals, I think.
The journals, by and large, are like the journals of, like 16 to 18-year-olds. I feel like that should explain it all.
Fair.
It's
I mean,
all
she's
just really
still looking for
mundane
anything
angst.
interesting. But...
No. Well,
Is
you're
there
like,
some bad poetry?
yeah, there's some super bad poetry, but something
Mist
catches
is
your
mildly
eye, or
disgusted.
something. They call someone named Joanna a cunt. You're like, wow,
Whoa!
that's some strong language. And then you turn the page, and you see that there's like, she stole someone's boyfriend, and you're like, oh, wow. Again, just basically teenage journals. Ren, it's about this time that you wander back into the inn, having your fair share of angsting taken care of for the day. You've gotten your, like, quota in.
Yeah.
It's warm. The fire has warmed up the room, and as you came in, the night air had become a bit chillier. As far as you're aware, autumn is setting in. The boy that's singing, he's okay. Like, it's just kind of your typical bawdy sailor song sort of thing, and
Oh,
the denizens of the bar are not joining in. They all look to be somewhat older, like farmers and stuff, that are tired and having some drinks and talking amicably amongst themselves. And it looks like you guys are the only travelers that have come through, at least tonight. You head back up to your room. Nenia Saint comes in. He nudges open your door, and he just curls up on your floor and looks at you. Doesn't stop looking at you.
Oh my god.
He's just,
Oh, are you hungry? And she was like carrying the stuff downstairs and contemplating. But Saint kind of solidified that for her, like, yeah, she's gonna ask a dog if it's hungry.
he keeps staring mournfully.
Oh. Okay, she'll give him head pats, and she's gonna get her butt off the bed. And, take a knock on somebody's door.
Okay.
Which one? Uh-oh.
Which one?
Which one? Was she
Which
paying
door?
attention?
I mean, I guess it must mean Laffy and Mist Store's open if Saint left it. Like,
That's true.
Maybe he's a polite dog.
I mean,
Shut
maybe.
door behind him.
Did Saint shut the door?
No, the door's open.
Okay.
Okay, well, she'll be distracted by the open door. Poke her head in. Hi, I'm sorry I hope I'm not interrupting.
Oh
sounds
no,
like
not at
there's-
all.
Okay. I was wondering if you were both hungry at all.
Oh, right, eating. That's a thing, right? We should probably do
yes.
that. Luffy, did you figure out that with your tongue?
No, but I feel like eating will help. Let's go. Thank you for reminding us, because sometimes Mist forgets to eat because,
Oh.
you know what, never mind. We're not going to get into it, but let's go.
Alright.
Yeah,
Are
Mist,
you alright?
Mist gathers up the stuff. Just like, I'm fine, I get distracted by things, like, you know... I figured out that there's absolutely nothing in that book that we found.
Oh.
Like, it's blank. It had that ridiculous ward on it, which are still there, but inside there's just nothing. It's
Oh.
rather intriguing and odd.
Strange.
Yeah, she gathers up everything and she goes out with Laffy and Nenya for food.
Luffy has the book, and she's gonna follow. She took the book from Mist, I'm just gonna say.
Okay.
Because I feel like Mist isn't gonna put up that much of a fight, it's Luffy.
Yeah.
At this point, Bran probably has gotten bored, so he's wandered down into the tavern area. So they'll
Yeah,
probably see
Okay.
him down there.
As they're sitting, Luffy is gonna hand the book to Nenya while eyeing her, like,
Yeah.
intently and be like, do you see anything in the pages?
Yeah, both. I bet Laffy and Mist are both staring to see if something happens.
Way to make her nervous, guys.
Right?
Gosh. Okay, she'll carefully crack open the book.
Make a perception check.
Okay.
Oh
Oh
gosh.
boy. Yeah. Perception.
Hey.
Oh no, it's no break it.
Yeah,
No,
we'll take the first one.
Okay.
It is certainly a book.
Oh my god!
You made
I'm
her roll that
sorry.
perception for nothing.
I'm sorry, I only see blank pages too.
Oh, god damn it.
Alas.
Okay.
We'll figure it out eventually if there's anything there. Thanks
Have
for
you
trying,
tried
though.
writing something in it? Says Ren.
No, but I could.
You could always give it to me. I'd make the gem turn into a sword.
Fair.
Maybe if I poke the book.
How
down
about
into
you
it.
all look at it? All of you look at it carefully, and then I'll write something in it. See what happens.
Nanya
Bran is gonna inspect the book and poke it.
Make a perception check.
Oh my god.
Okay. That's a tindy.
Yeah, not that.
Oh my god.
Okay, Bran, for a second, you're like, ah! And then you realize that it was just like a speck of dust. Ren, you barely recognize that it's a book. You're like, ah!
I just imagine Ren just sits down, looks at us what's that? Just completely forgets that we even found a book.
Yeah, Jesus.
Basically. Yeah, no, she does. She sits down and she's like, what is that again? Why did you get that? Why are we looking at it so intently?
Red, we got it at the temple with the gem, you know, where you kicked
Ren-
that thing.
Ren gives Mist a blank look. Yeah, I was too busy being angry at the symbol.
Why were you angry at the symbol, by the way?
It was there.
All right.
I don't remember that.
She doesn't look like she's gonna explain any further.
Yeah.
Luffy squints at Ren and is just like, I don't know what it is, but you almost seem more angsty than usual.
Ren opens her mouth and closes her mouth and opens it again. She's like, I don't really know how to take that. More angsty than usual.
Yeah, you're just... Usually you're mercurial, but now you're just at a solid, like, yeah,
You don't really.
you're okay.
Ren opens her mouth, closes it, opens her mouth again, gets a weird expression on her face. Yeah, I'm fine.
Luffy looks at Mist, and telepathically, Luffy is going to communicate to Mist, not fine. Just the feeling of being
Yeah.
profoundly unokay.
Yeah, Mist just nods.
And like you can see the look on Luffy's face is just like, as she looks at Mist, it's like, boy, like.
Yeah. Yeah, Mist is nodding like she believes it.
Ren
Okay.
gives them both a blank look.
So what are you gonna do with the book now?
Mist is gonna try to write something in it. Or, she's like, she thought about trying to write something, then she decided to give the tentacles her pen so they could write something, because why not?
Okay. What do you want them to write?
I don't know, they can write whatever they're gonna write.
Okay, they curl around the pen, and they, like, inspect it for a few minutes. And then they put it on the paper and draw a line.
Yeah, Mist looks to see if anything happens in the book, and I'm guessing nothing does.
No, nothing happens with the line. Or the line disappears.
Oh. Well,
Well,
it's in
that's-
there, and it's
that's
gone.
Some kind of development,
Bear
at
with
least.
me.
Yeah.
Write a spell into the book.
Oh. Alright. What sort of spell should I write? I don't want it to blow up.
Preferably one that doesn't explode.
Yeah. Alright. So, Mist is going to...
Yeah, where are you taking this?
Yeah, she writes the identify spell into the book.
Okay, so you write the first, like, few letters and spells start off with the name of the spell. And when ID gets in, the rest of the word fills in to say identity theft.
It's autocorrect.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Miss tilts her head. She's like, that's not
And
what
then
I was intending.
after, like, a few seconds of nothing happening, it fades away and ID is left. Do you continue writing the
Interesting.
spell?
No, she under that, like, or above that, like, somewhere on it. It's not even, like, straight. It's like some other, she writes UN.
Like, the letter U and the letter N?
Yeah, like she's gonna start writing a word.
It spells out university. After a few
Luffy's
seconds,
like,
it just goes away.
Luffy's like, write hello. Maybe it's.
Yeah, Mist writes that.
Okay. As you write hello, like, some other letters start to form until you finish the word hello. And then the word hello moves to the top of the page, and underneath it, the words hello come back.
Huh.
And then it says, greetings.
Miss looks at Loppy and grins.
Hey, I
Yeah.
did something.
This is
It
one
did.
weird book.
I like
And then under that, after a few seconds, it says, "Who has awoken the tome of Ghoul?"
Oh. How does that spelled?
Gul.
Okay.
Luffy says, just write nameless.
Yeah, Miss does that.
Okay, and it says, "Hello, nameless. How can I help you today?"
Oh my god, it's Siri, but an ancient book.
Mist writes, would you tell me about yourself?
It says, certainly, I am the Tome of Ghoul, an ancient history book possessed by the spirit of the scribe Ghoul, servant of Leander.
Hmm.
Who was Leander?
Yeah, Mist writes that.
Okay. It just says, Leander was the realmic deity of knowledge.
Ooh.
And then underneath that, the number 2 shows up.
Like Wikipedia. And
Yeah. Mist tilts her head and like she writes, what is the 2?
And it replies, I can be you, or due to the considerable amount of energy it takes me to retrieve written knowledge from the plane of knowledge, I can only be used up to 3 times per 7-day cycle. You now have 1 question remaining.
Oh. Realm of knowledge, that's interesting. Should I ask? There are so many questions, this is awful.
Maybe we should save our last question, just in case.
That's fine. I'm fine with this. It should
Let's
be
figure out what question we want to ask.
I mean,
first.
you know, part of me wants to ask, what can you tell me about that which waits, but...
Oh, you know, that seems like a good idea, though. Should we do that, guys? What do you think?
French, right?
Wait, what?
Sure. I mean, if you want to ask it that, I have no issue.
Alright. Yeah, Mist writes, what can you tell me about that which waits?
The words please wait, followed by ellipses. You wait a few seconds, more ellipses. You wait a few seconds, more ellipses. You end up waiting like a solid 2 to 3 minutes in silence with all of you guys just staring at the book expectantly.
Luffy
Yeah.
does that thing where, like, you start off leaning on your hand, but then you progressively are just laying on the table.
And then the please wait, like, gets backspaced all the way up to nothing. And then it says, please select an entry. That Which Waits by Carumphius Frumph. Waiting for Her by Jonathan, and then the last name is kind of some scribbles. I Wait for Nobody. Or That Which Waits for Us All.
Well, the first and the last seem like the best 2 options.
Yeah. The first almost sounds like a gnomish name.
Yeah.
What is the last name sound that from the author's name sound like, or is there one?
No, there is no last name.
So there's
Well, there's no last name on the last one, which
Yeah,
seems
but
mysterious.
the last one also might just be death, right?
That's true. The great equalizer. Alright, let's go with the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Miss.
So
chooses the
you
first
circle it, and all the rest disappear, and for a second the one that you circled remains on the page, and then that disappears. And it starts filling in text that just goes on, and the pages turn, and more text, and the page turns, and more text, and the page turns, and more text. And you guys are just you're sitting there for like a solid 5 minutes as it keeps going.
Miss just looks completely ecstatic. Like, this is the best fucking thing ever.
And
This is
the
like
the book is
dial-up internet.
the book is like getting bigger, like physically bigger too.
I really like this book.
Okay, this is cool and all, but how are we gonna keep the words in the book for long enough for us to read them?
Well, I mean, hopefully they stay there. All things considered, I'm going to be taking notes. I can skim pretty quickly and find, if there's anything that pertains to what we're after, probably.
Okay.
Bren, you're looking at it, and on the first page that you see, it just says like, "Waiting is the biggest form of torture known to man." And you keep reading, and you're like, "Oh no." And you're just skimming the first page, and you reach over and suddenly turn the next page, and you start to realize this is just a philosophy book.
Yeah.
Like a really sophomoric philosophy book.
Brent
Oh my
orders
God.
the tallest, stiffest drink he can get from the bar.
Okay.
Yeah, Laffy also goes and gets a drink, just a strong drink.
Okay. And at the top of the first page, there is written for a brief moment, like, thank you for using the Book of Ghoul. Or the Tome of Ghoul. And then, yeah, that's it. It just stays like that. This
Alright.
big-ass book with this thank you note at the top. Please donate it. No.
Oh my god.
It's this giant Wikipedia ad that takes up 3/4 of your screen that's telling you why you should give them money.
Gosh.
And you slowly realize, where do you give this book money? No, it's not there. Okay, so you've got this big book that, as far as, Ren, again, you read like the first 2 pages and you're like, this is just a philosophy book about what waiting means.
Wow.
Yeah, it's... Okay,
Yeah.
so you guys start drinking, and the drinks are super strong.
Ren does not drink, notably,
Okay.
I suppose.
Yeah. Miss isn't drinking either unless goaded into it.
Nenny, are you drinking too? I have a hard time imagining Nenny
Oh, no.
drinking. Okay.
Yeah, she'll be clean for now, just but she is giving that book an exacerbated look and just like, oh
Yeah.
my god, magic.
Well,
Wow.
we'll figure out how to ask the right questions, hopefully.
In week, when it
Week's not that long. Hopefully.
after.
Well, I guess for now, just write down any questions we might want to ask it throughout the week.
Excellent. I will keep track of all of these.
That will not only be 3 questions.
No.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna give you guys the item card for this really quick, and then
Oh,
read
shit.
it off for the stream. Alright, look at it in Discord. The item is called the Tome of Ghoul. This ancient heavy tome... Not stone. This ancient heavy tome is said to contain the collective knowledge of all written words from the plane of Anda. The spirit of the scribe that responsible for curating this knowledge possesses the tome. He's not very nice. The tome has the following properties. The spirit within the tome only responds to written queries. It operates like a search engine and has an autofill function. Good luck. Not all answers given by the tome are accurate, as is the case with written word. Specificity is the key. Godspeed. The tome can only be asked 3 questions within a 7-day period. What sort of questions are considered a use of the tome is up to my discretion. After 3 questions are asked, the spirit becomes sullen and refuses to answer any more questions, and not all questions can be answered immediately.
Alright.
You guys
great,
literally
yeah.
have like a search engine now.
Perfect.
Oh my
A really
God.
shitty
Miss
one, but
is keeping this.
It's not. We have Bing or Ask Jeeves.
Oh my god.
Laffy takes a long sip of her drink and is like, what are we going to tell Aurelian?
I don't know.
Bren's already at the bottom of his first string.
Tell him we found the temple.
I can show him the symbols that we saw all over everything.
Throw
Say
the
that
book
there
at
were.
it.
No, I want to keep that. Well, he could look at it, but I'm keeping it.
I didn't say you couldn't take it back. Just throw it at him.
I don't want to throw the book at him. That poor book. You can't just throw books around.
I don't know. It's a pretty heavy book.
I mean, you can smack someone with a book, but don't throw it. It might land wrong.
The book exists ominously.
Lavi eyes the book suspiciously.
Yeah, Mist actually looks over to Nenia, and she's like, "No, I never asked you. Where are you from? Are you from this plane?"
Of course I am. I'm from a little town called Edison. It's, in the map. Edison. Actually, let me make sure I pronounce that properly. Thanks, Miss. Getting me all...
Sorry, Mist wants to know everything.
Ren, right?
No.
Is it a human settlement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah, Ren, as far as you're aware, it's just a small, like, farming village in the mountains of Ardor.
That is a small town.
Yeah, a bit. It's nice and quiet, though.
So,
Yeah, nice
What?
and quiet.
what brought you all the way down here? Well, to the desert.
Well, as I said, I just thought I'd help people in need. Well, you know more than I do about this whole, she waggles her hands around as if that's supposed to say anything about her magic. Well, my ability to heal more than what salves or bandages would do, and, well, it really sounded like there were more out in the world that could use that sort of help, and it led me to that caravan, and, now I'm out of the desert with you.
That's, yeah. So, you said that we seem to know more about your abilities than you do?
Where they came
Uh,
from, I think she means.
Right. So, how did you come across that you had this power? Out of curiosity.
Well,
You can't just ask someone how they got their magic powers.
I mean, I can. Yeah, no one asks me, but I wouldn't mind.
it's all right. It was just a dire situation one day, working with a patient, and well, it really was like a miracle. Whatever I was able to do to save their life, it was just a miracle. That's all I can say.
How nice. And Ren pushes herself up from the table or bench or whatever and like
Oh my God.
walks out.
It's just like looks at Ren like she kind of tilts her head and then she looks at Nenny and is like,
Saint
mind
looks
her.
at you, Laffy, by the way, and then looks at the door, and then looks at you, and looks at the door.
Laffy was already getting up. Laffy, like, she looks between the others and she sighs deeply. And then she goes to follow Ren.
yeah. Miss looks at Laffy. She gives her a look that's like, you want me to follow you? Like,
No, you snitch. Oh, just stay where you are. And then Laffy goes to follow Ren.
Ren is, I mean, she's outside. She's like petting a horse that's nearby.
There was a
Okay.
horse
Horsing
that
around.
it needed to be petted.
Yeah, there's a horse nearby, sure.
Laffy is like, was there some sort of equestrian emergency that you had to tend to?
Absolutely. Look at this nose. It's perfect. And she pets the horse.
The horse
Laffy
whinnies.
Laffy puts her hands on her hips and then she crosses her arms and then she puts her hands on her hips again and she's like, "What's up? What's going on? You look like shit. You're acting weird. I know I haven't seen you in a year, but I'm pretty sure that this isn't normal behavior.
Ren inhales and then exhales. And then exhales a little more. And
You wheeze a little bit on the last exhale.
yeah. What are you doing? And she turns to look at Laffy.
You're asking the wrong person. I never know what to do.
I mean, with that inexperienced little girl in there, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't really know, but I'm not. You do realize I'm not that old, right? I was an inexperienced little girl once.
So why do you want to encourage someone to go through all of the bullshit that we've just been through?
Fluffy shrugs and she's like, it wasn't that bad to me, but my life wasn't exactly great to begin with, and I don't know what her story is. Maybe her life wasn't exactly great to begin with.
And Ren is silent for like a long time. she goes back to petting the horse.
I'm just saying, you don't know. You only know as much as she tells you, and you're not listening to anything she's saying right now, currently up to present, so. But maybe there's a very good reason why she went out to do what she did, and I mean, it's her choice what she does. No one can stop her. If you're concerned about her well-being, then it's probably best that she's with you because you're concerned in the first place.
I don't want to be a babysitter. And I don't...
Well, she's probably gonna grow into it.
Saint looks at you pretty judgmentally, Ren. Like, you feel really bad all of a sudden.
Oh my god!
I mean, she feels really bad, but then she looks at Saint and she's like...
Saint looks away.
No.
Luffy looks at Ren and she's like, you don't have to be the only one keeping an eye on her. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on her, but I mean, there's some pretty big assholes out there. Like, okay, we're kind of idiots, right? But we always try to do the right thing, and there are people out there who will not try to do the right thing and might just leave her for dead.
And we might get her killed. And Ren turns around and like walks away.
She's
Like,
gonna
straight up.
probably get herself killed. You're gonna get yourself killed. Drink a fucking potion. Lager shouts over, a strong breeze is going to knock you over.
Ren just flips through the bird as she's walking away.
Oh my god!
Ren.
Ren, how many hit points do you have, by the way?
Oh my
24.
Okay, yeah. As you do that, you're like, ow, my shoulder.
Yeah, she is. Like, ow. But, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the effect still
Yeah.
gets across.
She deserves it.
Yeah.
god.
Luffy looks at the horse.
The horse looks at you, Laffy.
Luffy goes back inside.
Saint follows.
Oh my god.
Ren, are you just
Well,
wandering the
since-
night?
Luffy sits down and she's like, Ren had really bad gas and she didn't want to smell it, so she's gone.
I imagine. Mix just
I'm
looks a lot. Be like,
sure
I don't
that's
believe that,
what that
but.
was.
I might have some medicine for her later.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. She just... It's a chronic problem.
The lavender room.
We appreciate your wanting to help, honestly.
As long as it's not imposing, is she really gonna be alright?
I don't know.
That's hard to say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the gas thing, but just, you know.
Who she is as a person.
Oh.
Saint
I'm
kind of
sorry,
nudges
we're
you,
all-
Laffy.
We're all deeply flawed people.
Yeah, I
That's
mean...
putting it
Alright.
light.
So you're looking around for people that need help.
Well, learning about myself too, of course.
Ah. I can definitely relate to that. Have you heard anything so far about, people just appearing with she sort of gestures like she's trying to get the words out of her head. Like
Nania slowly
special
not
abilities. Yeah.
trying to discern what Miss wants to say, and she
I mean, we've heard
Thanks,
about
Ben.
it, but I think it sounds like you're the first to be met, if we're not mistaken, since it didn't sound like, you knew about this before and you were able to heal people. I don't think that's a sorceress thing so much.
it's not normal at all. No. And she tries to think back on her very short-lived adventure so far. Should I roll for anything as far as her experience goes?
Yeah, roll a history. Or, no, you don't need to roll anything for this since you've experienced it all.
Okay, well, I have heard rumors from town to town that it's happening, but I have yet to meet anyone like me. But, well, I'm sure the more I search, I'll find someone, and I ran into you, and a little something.
Yeah.
Maybe more. I haven't asked, but no time to.
Well, maybe we can ask the book about that sometime later, since it is History of Andar, right? Maybe, wonder if this is something that's happened before. And it seems like this and the temples might be connected somehow, since, they're both popping up at about the same time. When we were in there, did you feel anything odd around any particular, I don't know, symbols or anything?
Well, when we went outside, I felt something that sort of, I'm not sure, but it sort of calls to the kind of power that I have. She thinks about it a little bit, but she's honestly a little worried about Ren, so she's distracted. But she thinks about it a little more. The journal I gave you, well, it's strange to say, it sort of had a feeling. And
Do you want it back?
oh, well, when you're done
Yes.
when you're done with it, she gestures like Miss knows what she's doing with books, and she can't impose.
Nania, I forget, did you read it?
Yes, she did.
Okay, just making sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it spooked her a little bit. But
Did any of the symbols speak to you at all?
Yeah. Well, did you find anything else in there that grabbed your attention?
Well, I grabbed a locket, well, a pendant rather, that I was going to bring for the caravan, but that's not happening. That feels a little strange too. I'm sorry, this isn't helpful at all.
No, you're fine.
She doesn't want
Don't
to
worry about it.
Yeah, most of the things we figure out aren't helpful until way
Later.
later. Yeah.
Mist is totally writing everything down, by the way. way.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of the symbols, Bran fishes out the jewel. Whenever I pick this up, one of the symbols appears on it. He sort of
Oh.
like
Ooh.
Oh.
he shows it to them.
Mist squints at it. And...
Bran, make an Arcana check.
Oh, okay. My worst roll.
Yep. I believe in you.
Oh my god!
Okay, well, when you pick it up to show Mist, a symbol does flare up rather brightly inside of it. And it's too bright to actually see what it is, but then it fades away, and, Mist, it's actually your symbol, but, like, very
damn.
small.
Mist just kind of blinks and is like, that's the thing that turns into a sword, right?
Yeah, this is it.
That has my symbol on it.
Oh, well, maybe I should give it to you then.
Miss, when are you ever gonna use a sword?
I know,
Can you even
that's...
use a sword?
I mean, I could pick one up and swing it around, but that doesn't mean anything. Can I just see it for a moment?
Sure. Bran passes it over to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mist, when it touches your hand, you blink and it's back in Bran's hand.
Bran kind of looks at Mist and looks down at like his hand and like sees it in his hand and there's like a double take.
I guess it's Bran's sword.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, that's kind of what I felt like it would be anyway. Though that you have something tied to what is not is interesting.
Bran shrugs. So I traded a mysterious sword for an even more mysterious sword.
Yeah.
Can Mist like use identify on it?
I mean, you already know everything there is to know about the properties of it.
Okay, but never mind. If it doesn't, if she doesn't seem like she could get anything else from it, then
No.
it's like that's.
Well, no,
odd.
actually. Yeah, no, never mind.
Okay. She looks at the tentacles to see if they were doing anything weird when she tried to take it.
They're recoiling from it.
Oh. Yeah, I shouldn't touch that.
Well, okay, I guess I'll hold on to it then. And pockets it.
But Nenia, you said you found something too.
Yeah, the pendant. And she fishes around in her pouch and a side pouch and pulls it out. It's that copper sort of pendant, old, faded, and brushes a thumb over its surface, trying to glean what she feels from it before holding it out for Mist.
Okay, make another religion check.
Sure. Oh boy. Woo.
Okay, 10. When you rub your finger over it, it does get warm, and for a brief moment, you feel, like, comforted. You're like, I didn't know I was uncomfortable.
Gee. Okay. Shoulders relax a little bit, but snaps back to attention to, for whatever Mist might appraise of it.
Yeah, Mist goes to take it then and sees if she can
Okay.
discern anything from it.
It's using Eldritch Sight, you're able to see this kind of vague greenish gold glow around it. And it's very dim. And you actually look over at Nenia and you see kind of a similar glow around her that's very, very subtle.
Mist tilts her head. She looks curious and interested. but she's looking at Nenny instead of the thing.
Yeah.
Can she's probably gonna identify this.
Okay. It has no magical properties, as far as you can tell.
Interesting.
Yeah, it just seems to be connected to some kind of divine magic, as far as you can tell.
Mist kind of looks between it and Nenia and then hands it back, and she's like, well, I can't discern any particular magical properties to it, but there is this sort of greenish gold glow that it has, and you have that too. So, I mean, it seems like, you go together then.
A matching set.
And it appears to be connected to the divine. So...
Oh.
Is there a symbol on it?
Yeah, was there any symbols on it?
Make a perception check.
Oh gosh.
Okay, I'm gonna...
And Nenia, you have it back, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh hey, I
What
can
is
just
my
fucking...
perception?
Is that gonna work? Shit.
13.
Okay.
19.
Mist, you notice that, like, as Nenia is running her thumb over it, it seems to be flaking away some, like, greenish, like, rusted copper. And underneath it, you do see the symbol that looks vaguely like a tree, etched into it, but it looks very old, so it's not very clear.
Yeah, Mist sort of leans forward and squints, and she points out where she sees that, and she's like, there. That kind of looks like one of the symbols that we'd seen in there. And she, like, flips through her book and shows the picture of the symbols and points to the one that it looks kind of like, and she's like, it sort of looks like this one.
Oh, well, you drew that. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks down at it.
Wait,
Yeah, and now that it's pointed out, you can see it.
which symbol does it look like?
Like the tree-looking one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting.
Well, if he's like, it's a tree.
I mean, yeah, could be. Well, we figured out a little bit of something anyway. Not a lot, but now you know to look for things related to that symbol because they are tied to you.
Luffy
know-
very quickly smacks Mist. Just like, not like the open palm smack, like, you know when you're sitting next to someone and you think of something and like, you just hit them? Yeah, that's what Luffy does. And she's like, oh! What if you draw the symbols into the book next time?
Yeah? I could do that.
That could work. What if you just drew them in it now? It's not like you're asking it a question.
I could, but they would just fade away, I imagine. Or I'd lose everything else that it had in there right now.
I mean, it's like a philosophy thing. So.
That's fine, I'll look it over. Maybe something's hidden in there. Probably not, but I never know.
Yeah.
Either way, we know this for later. Or, at any point in time. If this has sort of a collected knowledge, that means that somewhere it already exists, and not just here. It has to be somewhere else too.
Yeah. Just good job, team. But I feel like we have more questions than answers on.
That is always what happens, is it not?
Luffy looks at Nenia and she's like, how much do you mind traveling? Because we're probably ditching this plane.
Well, I suppose I could come with if you're happy. And as far as it takes, as long as everyone is healthy enough to. And she gives the door another look.
Yeah, Mrs. It's like, oh, you mean... Filing, you know how we... Some weird things happened before, like, we're going to help you as best we can, that's assured, but... Are you sure you want us to help you? It might be a bit much, depending.
Oh, that's don't get down on yourself like that. I'm sure you're plenty helpful, and I would love the help.
Well,
Luffy looks at Nenia and she's like, alright, here's the thing. This is gonna sound like bullshit. But a little over a year ago, we all got assembled together. It turns out there was a prophecy. We wound up connecting this plane to Sigil. And then when all the demons were coming, we saved everything because there was a giant dragon skeleton and we destroyed it.
it was opening a portal where all the demons were going to come through.
Yes.
It was really an exciting time.
And that's the kind of thing we deal with. So we're kind of weird. Big world-ending disasters sometimes happen around us. Like, I just want you to be aware of what you're getting into.
I appreciate it. It's not weird. That's really heroic of you.
So
Well, I think what she's just saying is that if you ever feel like you need to walk away from all this, don't feel like you have any obligation to stay with us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want you to feel like you have to stay out of some sense of duty or something. Granted, isn't that why we all... Never mind. Luffy takes a sip of her.
I mean, if it's fine with you, it already seems like we are connected somehow. I mean, Bran was able to open the temple. We've both found symbols connected to us in there.
Yeah.
Your powers are connected to these temples somehow. I think we're going to be able to help you, but at the same time, keep in mind, if it gets to be a bit much, you are always free to do whatever you like, and that if what you like is to leave, that's perfectly alright.
I understand. No, I'll try not to get in the way.
You
While we're
don't
out
get
there.
in the way.
You don't have to worry about getting in the way, but you do have to worry about surviving. We're gonna...
Yes.
How much have you actually thought?
She might look a little embarrassed and mortified at the thought of attacking anything, and maybe that says enough.
Oh my
Bobby
god.
looks at Nenia just like this dispassionate blank stare and is like, all right, well, we are going to be working on that because you need to learn how to do it. Here's the thing, you do not have to necessarily be the one attacking because there are all of us. But in the event that we are injured or you are alone, you need to learn how to do it.
I understand.
Give it this way: you can't save anyone's life if you can't save your own.
Yeah.
Precisely.
All right. I understand.
Also,
Maybe she does. Maybe she doesn't.
Mrs.
gonna be
like, Mrs. Like, is there anyone back at your home that you would want to, tell that you might be going off on an adventure for in another plane or something? Because we're probably going to be going to another plane.
Another plane, huh? Gracious. I think I'm alright for now. They know. My mom and dad, they know. And I think that's enough. I'll be alright.
Alright, well, if you ever change your mind, you're free to.
Right, of course. Right.
It's fine. We're not going anywhere, It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be very crazy. There's gonna be like buildings in the sky when you look up, but we are not probably going to be fighting. We're just going to a store. We're leaving to go to the store.
But immediately we're not going to be fighting. We don't know what's going to happen basically anywhere. But yeah, hopefully we won't be fighting.
Hopefully, right. Well, I'll do my best to protect you, and the more I learn about myself, the more I hope I can be helpful with these magics.
Just don't be too on edge. It's gonna be a very leisurely thing. Try to enjoy yourself while you can, is the best advice I can give you. Because things are gonna get stressful at some point, probably.
Alright, well, thank you
Just-
for being honest.
Try to find joy in the little things.
Right. Alright. It's slowly sinking in. But she's not gonna let anybody know. She'll just be polite.
Miss is just like, well, anything truly worth going after is never completely easy.
That's true.
Where's Ren? Miss is looking around to see if Ren maybe snuck in and was hanging out there some.
Nope.
Laffy's gonna look at Mist and Laffy's gonna convey the middle finger to Mist.
Yeah, Mist is like. Was that from Ren or was that?
That was from Ren. Just
Yeah,
like a vivid image of Ren's hand flipping
Yeah.
the bird.
She's like, we're probably gonna. How? Oh, we might have to take a while to find her then.
It's gonna. Laffy looks at Nenia and she's like, "You ever own a cat and then you go and you rearrange all the furniture in the house and the cat is all strange?"
Sure.
That is how Ren is going to be for a little while. Try not to let it get you down.
You know, that's a surprisingly apt analogy.
Yeah, it is. Ren is like the cat that like sits on the top shelf of things and just like stares at you and makes very disgruntled sounding noises while her like tail is puffed. Happen.
Gosh.
But she's also secretly a zombie cat.
That
Yeah.
her and Polka Dot are best friends.
Yeah.
God.
Polka Dot's the only one that really gets her.
Oh my god.
Okay. So Ren, do you do anything else here?
She's, you know, hesitantly gonna keep walking.
Okay. I'm just gonna start doing this here then.
All right. Okay.
So as you walk, that weird, like, it's not quite tugging. It just feels like something is off to the northwest, and you should go towards it. You don't know what it is, and it also feels like it's not getting closer. As you you close your eyes and you concentrate on it a bit because you've been walking for a little bit now.
Yeah.
And the idea comes to you that this is very, very far away. Whatever it is calling to you. And the image of this sprawling, metropolitan, almost looking city that's shrouded in nighttime behind you, and in front of you this desolate red clay desert in front of you, kind of at this exactly where you're standing is like this harsh divide. There's no bleeding into it. On one side, it is this nighttime city. On the other side, it is this bright daytime desert.
Wow.
And your mind goes towards that, and you don't know what to think of it.
She's got no idea. She
Yeah.
sort of stops walking And it's just like, oh god, what is going on?
And yeah, the pulling sensation, it gets duller the more you think about other things. But it's still, you get the sensation that something is kind of calling to you from very far away to the northwest.
Ren sort of like again, she's stopped where she is, and she's like half concentrating on the pull, and like half kind of like turning to look behind her where theoretically the like Lyriel was.
It's there. The whole like image thing is just, it
Oh.
happened once when she blinked.
Okay.
And when she opened her eyes, she was back as where she was in the middle of the forest.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But the memory of it is very vivid. It's not like, oh, I dreamed it one time. It's like, whoa, I actually saw that.
She's going to sigh. And make her way back slowly into Lyriel. Then towards the inn, but she's sort of like, she gets halfway there and she's not really sure if she wants to go back to the inn. I mean, she does want to go back to the inn, but she also,
Yeah, it's Ren.
it's Ren.
She wants to also be herself.
Yeah.
I
I
know that eventually Mist would probably just go out and start looking for Ren.
If they do,
But
they
she
find her
doesn't-
literally
she's
standing
lost
in the
as
middle
fuck.
of the road. like literally made it to like the middle of the road in front of the Scrawly Inn, like looking at it and looking at it, and like her arms are crossed and she's like,
Yeah.
she's thinking very hard.
Would Mist see her? Like,
I mean, yeah, she's just standing there.
Yeah,
she
Mist-
doesn't look like she's, yeah.
Mist just comes out and she blinks and then she goes over to Ren. It's like, I thought you'd be a lot harder to find. You don't really want to be here, do you?
I don't know.
Is this somewhere you want to go?
I mean, not exactly. Sort of, maybe, I don't know.
Well, what? Where? I mean, we could.
I don't know where it is.
Mist
Why it is.
tilts her head. It's like, so you just
Never mind. It's probably nothing. Let's just go inside. And Ren like walks around Mist.
Mist is still looking at her, and she's like, it's never that simple, Ren.
I think that's
I
the problem.
I
Yeah.
want to make note that if Ren walks through the door, Luffy is immediately there.
Ren walks through the door.
Luffy looks at Ren, and she's like, "Can't believe you just left Mist out there. She's gonna get lost."
Mist is like, I heard that! I can see the door from here!
Yeah, see, she can see the
You hear
door.
that? She's like miles and miles away. We're never gonna see her again.
You know what? At that Mist just like, if Lappy's not looking for a moment, she immediately just floats up into the air. And so she's just not there anymore when Lappy looks again.
Luffy turns and looks out the door like, "All right, Miss, come." She looks to the right. She looks to the left.
You weren't wrong.
Yeah, I guess she's just gone forever.
We really do need to get a baby leash for her.
Mist is just snickering, floating.
I thought we already had a magical rope somewhere that we just never used.
It's not magical, it's just been around for a long time. And I've cut like lengths out of it.
No, like, I'm pretty sure we have a magic rope.
I don't remember receiving a magic rope. You'd think I'd remember receiving a magic rope. I mean, those things are useful.
Didn't they tie the rope around Mist before anyway?
Yeah.
I mean, they've tied her to.
They have the belt.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Right. Right.
Fluffy's like, maybe I'm misremembering. Well, anyway, Mist is gone.
Yeah, disappeared completely.
Fluffy casts locate object and thinks very vividly about Mist's symbol.
Oh my god. How many places would that show up?
I mean, just right here. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's far away.
And Brand's thing, maybe.
Fluffy looks
no,
up and
actually.
is like,
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Fluffy looks up and she's like, oh, you're an asshole.
Yeah, Mist is like, you were first!
Fair. Fair indeed.
Mist floats back down and goes. Well, I don't know if she goes in since they're both in the doorway. And she's like, so are we going to go back and see Relian? We talked with Nenia, and she wants to go with us to figure out more about what she is.
Fluffy looks at Ren.
Ren grunts.
Don't worry, we told her, about us and all the shit we get into. She made a choice. She can leave whenever she wants to.
Ren
she
sighs
doesn't-
quickly becoming my favorite thing.
She's been sighing a lot.
Yeah.
lately.
She's also connected to one of those symbols that we found in the temple thing. Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't do it!
Ren walks into the inn and walks straight up to Nenia.
Okay.
Fluffy follows hot on her heels.
Nania went in for like a shy wave and immediately put her hand down with how determined Ren seems to be.
Ren leans in and puts both of her hands on Nenia's shoulders and like brings her face like super close.
She smells like dead.
Gosh, man.
I am so sorry. And then she lets go and turns around and walks upstairs.
Brand
Like,
just
Ren,
like
wait.
nods his head approvingly. I'm so proud of her.
Fluffy's like, this is progress.
Yeah, you're right.
And Ren calls from down the stairs, I wasn't apologizing for me.
Yeah,
I know!
Oh, poor Nenia. She's gonna be scarred by the end of all this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're gonna break
Don't
this
doubt
poor thing.
that.
Yeah, we are going to break the cutie.
Yep.
Let's be real.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I believe. I believe hard enough.
Okay. So do you guys all go to bed finally?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I
Yep.
mean, Ren didn't sleep, but you know.
Nania wants to knock on Ren's door.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Ren answers the door.
Hi, I am really sorry about earlier. Well, and all that. I know, I understand, kind of, not really, what I'm gonna be getting into, but, she's trying. She thought this was a good idea until, seeing Ren and locking eyes, and now she's...
Ren is giving her this like judgmental, like, hun, you have a big storm coming look.
Luffy and Miss said that you, may be a little sick, and you... have you taken time to dress your wounds or anything? I have medicines, and I can help you. She doesn't want to talk about gas in the door. She gesturing. Sorry.
Sorry.
Ren is like, what exactly does your healing entail?
Well, so far it's mended open wounds,
Hmm.
and that's about all I've seen from it so far.
Well, go ahead, give it your best shot. And Ren like opens her arms and like wiggles her fingers expectantly.
Gracious. Okay, well, she's surprised and wasn't expecting that for an answer, but she's totally going to jump on it. And, oh my goodness. Cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
I want to try at 3rd level.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me see. Spellbot, where the hell are you?
Let me see. I think it's 3d8.
I actually lost Spellbot. What the hell?
It's right there in
Yeah.
the chat.
3rd level. Yeah, 3d8. Plus your
Okay.
spellcasting ability modifier, so plus your charisma.
Oh
Mod.
boy. Charisma mod. This is too hard now. Okay.
I believe it's like 3d8 plus like 3.
Right. Okay. I'll memorize and stuff. So too. Okay.
Okay. Ren, you recover 29
Hey,
hit
that was-
points.
That was 3d20.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
oops. Oh my god, Mac. Okay. I'm so nervous. Wow. She's on the ball with healing. Okay.
Okay.
She's
Ren, you
really
recover.
nervous.
You recover 8 hit points. I was gonna say like 29's a lot, but I'm not gonna say anything.
Ren feels a slight tickle as some of her like wounds slightly get a little less open. And she
Some of the scabs get a little smaller.
yeah, and she looks at Nenia, and she's like,
I'll keep practicing. I have.
yeah, you're going to need to practice a lot.
Right.
Did they what? And Ren beckons her into the room for a second and closes the door behind her.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
I mean, if she comes into the room.
Okay, yeah, no, she's surprised. Okay, she's gonna be in the room.
All right. Yeah, Ren like straight up closes the door behind her and is like standing with her back against the door, and she folds her arms so that Nenia can't actually go anywhere.
Oh my god!
Okay.
During this, Laffy opens her eyes and she looks at Mist and she's like, do you ever just get the feeling that something mildly awful is happening?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
considering that that's the feeling we've all had since, we started journeying together in the first place.
Oh fuck. Sorry, that like dry yes actually made me choke.
Yes.
Doesn't even need to think about it.
Yeah. Wow.
And she settles Nenia with like the 1,000-yard stare. I don't know where you came from. And your goal is admirable. Helping people. And she pauses for a minute. Like she looks like she's earnest, in that she thinks her goal is admirable.
Mm-hmm.
But then she, like, her expression changes and she's like, but you have no idea what that costs. And it isn't. It isn't just exhausting yourself or watching your friends and loved ones risk their lives. And it isn't throwing yourself heroically in the path of danger to save them or save someone you don't know or watching an entire city burn and hoping that you can save one person. It's losing everything you are and still having to find the strength to keep going. And she steps out of the doorway and she opens it. If you think that you can do that, you're deluding yourself. And she puts a hand on Nenia's back and like ushers her out the door and slams it behind her.
Okay. Not even a chance, Ren. God.
Nope.
Of course
Alright.
not. Ren can't have a debate.
No, of course
Nope.
not. Can't have an argument.
You probably lose.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey.
Bert.
She
Damn.
totally had words, but well, she
I
just got shoved out the door.
I mean, yeah, like Nenia can try to like stop her or whatever that too. Like
Nenia.
Ren has
No, That's
Ren has
rude.
weenie strength.
No, it's rude, and she's not gonna fight an injured at that.
Oh
Like,
my god.
it was all just jarring and surprising for her. So, there was a sense of understanding during this monologue about losing yourself to helping others and all that jazz. But before that, sympathy, like, she wanted to comfort Ren because it sounds like she's been there or something. And she doesn't really get it, of course, doesn't get a chance to say something. Looks at the door, and then she'll just go to her room and be quiet and shut the door behind her for the night.
Oh.
She has a lot to think about.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick, about 5-minute break because the DM has to use the restroom. So we'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes stream. All right, we'll be back.
Okay.
There we go. Hi, Internet, we're back.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. Hello.
Alright,
Yeah.
so to pick up from where we left off, it is now morning. Everyone wakes up, except Mist, you unmeditate, and Ren, you continue existing.
Yeah.
It eventually occurs to you that, man, I kind of miss sleeping. Like, mandatory
Yeah.
sleeping.
Yeah.
It's like insomnia that never goes away.
Yeah. She
Um,
misses her, the ability to turn her brain off.
yeah, shame.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's morning time. You guys all kind of stumble down. The tavern is closed and abandoned downstairs. But it's clean, like, Bert cleaned up after everything. You guys are just kind of there by yourselves.
What the fuck is breakfast?
Right. I wonder if there's a place to go that's not here to get something.
Always just throw the mansion down.
That is true.
Yeah, we could. We could just do that. Who
Is-
wants breakfast?
Is
Why
Netta
don't we-
down here?
Yeah.
With them?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's an early bird. Yeah.
Why don't we drop in on our friend Toril for breakfast?
Do you think he's
I
going
don't-
to have any breakfast?
I really think he'd want us around his child.
Absolutely.
I mean, here's the thing. I love the direction that you're going in, but I feel bad for his wife.
I didn't say she'd have to cook for all of us. We can help.
That's true. Let's go see what Toril's doing.
Oh my God.
Well, if you want
Excited.
to.
So you guys step out
Ren
in the
is
street.
pointedly avoiding looking at Enya.
Yeah, Nadia's doing the same.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Nothing happened.
So
Nothing happened.
You all
You're
head
just
into the street,
idiot.
and you ask yourselves the ever important question: where's Toril's house?
Yeah.
Luffy?
Miss never
Wait,
knows.
no.
She's just fine.
Wait,
It's
no,
like,
we saw this. We saw his house at some point.
we did. Yeah.
We went to his house.
Which
Yeah.
means Laffy knows where it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miss is just like, I don't know where we're going. Someone go the direction.
Luffy bloodhound. Luffy, for a minute, it looks like Luffy does where she's going,
Oh my god.
but then she quickly recovers.
Okay.
She,
Over
like,
it's been like 2 years.
She has
Yeah.
a moment where she suddenly just starts walking in circles for a couple
no,
of
it's
seconds.
only been a year. She goes to like the town square and she figures it out for
No, it's been about 2 years.
Yeah.
Because there was the year time skip, and then you guys took a year to do the whole thing. Anyway, yeah, you
No,
find it.
because we visited his house at the end of, like, right before the times.
No, you didn't. Not his house.
No.
No, we didn't go to his house.
Then
Anyway,
maybe Luffy doesn't find
no,
it.
you do. Yeah, it took you a second. Alright, so you show up outside of his house.
Ren knocks on the door.
It's quiet.
Ren knocks a little louder.
Okay, well, if he's asleep, don't...
Eventually,
What time is it anyway?
like,
I don't know.
a
Time is
relatively young woman comes to the door and answers it, and she looks a little haggard and tired, and she blinks blearily at you, and, yes,
Are you Toril's wife?
if you're asking if I'm Jessica, yes. Hi.
Well, he never said your name.
Oh. And in the distance, you suddenly hear a loud baby scream.
Ah, yes, the parent of a newly born child. They get about 2 hours of sleep a night.
Yep.
Luffy
How would
looks
you-
at her. She
How
is
would
just
you like some breakfast made by us instead of you for once? While you tend to your child.
Who are you?
Old friends of Toril.
As you ever mentioned, is the friends, the ones that saved all of reality. What were
Excuse-
those friends?
We fought in the war.
we closed the portal of demons when I think he was still pregnant, and
Killed a Draco.
helped with
Uh,
this barrier.
It's too early for this shit. You're friends of Tortor's.
Tortor.
Yeah.
Right.
Tortor.
Okay, come in. Come in. And she, like, kind of, like, drags her feet into the house. You
Laffy
guys
looks
go
at
in
Ren.
and...
Laffy looks at Ren, and as they're walking in, she's like, "That's Toro's wife. She's like so pretty and young, though."
Well,
Alright.
I mean, he's a handsome guy.
Yeah, I know, but like, I didn't expect it.
She looks over her shoulder and just... Thank you, dear.
Sorry, I just.
No, I know I'm pretty, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, there
You
it is.
really are.
There it is.
Ah,
Uh,
it's alright. People like us just have to come to terms with that fact.
She just kind of keeps shuffling in and walks into the kitchen, and it's like a nice, like, 4-room house. Like, there's a kitchen slash, like, living area, and down the hallway there are what sound like bedrooms, and you hear baby screams, and what sounds like a masculine voice just, like, pleading for the child to be quiet. It's like, what do you want? Please. Tell me what you want.
Oh.
Oh.
Luffy looks at Ren as she like takes stock of the things within the kitchen and is like, "Do you even know how to cook? Like,
Should I do the cooking?
I know how to cook. Do we all know how to cook? Just like
I mean,
know."
you
Do you
forget that.
remember that stew I made? That, like, and Ren, like, makes this delicious, like, motion with her hands somehow. Like, the wand.
Don't remember the
Yeah, with
meal
the-
that I made when we were in Barovia.
That's right. That's right. All right. Okay. Let's figure this out before we get kicked out.
Alright. Bren, you make breakfast. Laffy and I will clean the place up. And Miss...
Mrs.
Go say
Strange,
hello to the baby.
she looks like she's waiting to see me assign her. Yeah, you want me to say hello to the baby?
Fran just
Oh,
shrugs
yeah.
and goes to the kitchen.
Maybe Ren should say hello. You know, I feel
Maybe
like this task
Nenia should say
delegation.
hello to the baby.
At this point, Toro comes shuffling out with his baby on his hip, and oh no.
Good morning, Tortor.
Oh,
Oh my god, Fran.
Is the
Oh.
baby still crying?
yeah. The baby is wailing. Just, "Nah, eh."
We tried the whole feeding it thing.
Yeah, that's why I was coming. What the hell are you doing in my house?
We're making you breakfast, I
Ren straight up starts making breakfast.
Yeah, Laffy's gonna assist.
Alright, I need you guys to make performance checks.
Oh, baby.
Alright.
Do we
I
all
was
make
born
performance
for this.
checks?
Those of you that are making breakfast, yeah.
Oh, fuck
Alright.
me.
I was born for this one. Don't worry, Bran's here.
Someone else rolled before me.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Brand
We
saved
thought we have
everybody.
Fran. At 11, not as bad as it could be.
Okay, Bran, you are like Gordon fucking Ramsay in that kitchen. You are working some magic, and you see Laffy, like, stare at 2 slices of bread and look confused for a
I feel like
second.
at some point, Bran just like ushers Ren and Laffy out of the kitchen.
Yeah, like, Ren, you're,
Wow.
you're doing alright with some eggs over there, and Bran walks over, like, with an apron on, and you're not sure where he got the apron from, but it's there now. And he just, shoos you out of the kitchen, and you reluctantly go out, and you see Laffy already standing in the hallway. She has, like, a few
With
burns
two
on her
slices of
fingers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's holding 2 slices of bread.
Ren takes one and starts eating it.
Yeah,
Oh my
Luffy starts eating too. She's like, he kicked you out, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah,
Miss-
let's go
Rin,
find
Rin wasn't doing badly, but she wasn't moving quickly enough.
Yeah.
Ren wants breakfast to be cooked when breakfast is still relevant.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Ren starts cleaning their house.
Okay.
Can I
Toral.
make an animal handling check on the baby?
You know what?
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
I'm gonna try to entertain the baby too.
I was joking, but you
The
know
tiny
what?
gremlin with the demon skull mask is gonna go entertain
Yeah.
the baby.
Yeah, no.
Fucking missed with the tentacle
Yeah.
arm.
No. Yeah. Make an animal handling check, Laffy.
16.
Okay. You walk over, and Torals is kind of watching, like, horrified and amazed, and you just scoop the baby out of his, like, off of his hip, and it's really not that hard considering, like, it's not that, like, it's not that far below you. So you reach out and scoop up this baby, and
Just walks up
immediately...
and snatches the baby away from
Yeah,
it.
basically. And he just looks at you, Laffy. He looks like he's about to say something. But then Renner's just kind of sitting there staring at you, like in that baby way, like, what do I do with this? How should I
Laffy-
react?
Luffy immediately starts baby talking to Renner again.
Renner just reaches out and grabs the horns of your, like, mask. And just holds onto them and just keeps, like, looking at you.
The mask, by the way, isn't on her face because they're in a town, but like it's like skewed off to her head, so
Yeah.
she's kind of just holding Renner up there, like letting him do what he will.
And again, Renner's still, like, giving you that look like he's trying to decide what to do with you. Like, we all know
He's
that
just-
baby look where they're like,
Yeah.
how should I react to this?
She's just babbling off to him in Elven about like she's just like narrating the room.
And when if Laffy says anything in particular is interesting, Mist will make little sparkles with prestidigitation around the thing.
Soon enough, the baby's giggling and, like, thrashing in your grip, Laffy, but, like, happily thrashing.
Luffy looks at Toril and she's like, "Your kid's alright."
He hasn't said anything, he's just watching all this aghast.
All these weirdos have shown up in my own house.
Can't get some fucking peace and quiet.
I mean, to be fair, it might
No.
be a little bit more quiet.
He's just...
Luffy looks at Toril and she's like, maybe you should go take a nap."
No,
Yeah.
I don't... Where's Jessica?
Probably taking a nap.
Oh, I'm gonna go do that. And the second he says that, he looks at you guys, and he looks back at his bedroom, and he looks at you guys. And then just shuffles away.
You know he was thinking it.
You guys are now left in Toral's house with a baby and otherwise unattended.
Oh, it's time to take that baby on
The
some
beginning's
adventures.
really bad.
No!
No.
Suddenly the pork
Yeah.
stone activates and the baby is transported to Sigil with
Oh
all
my
of you.
God.
Oh,
Baby's
no.
been out, Sigil
Yeah.
edition.
Okay.
Ren like straight up prestidigitations his house from like top to bottom,
Okay.
Yeah, Mist was kind
and
of
like
doing
takes
that
out
too.
the trash. And
Kitchen
Okay.
is probably
Okay.
smelling really, really good right about now.
Luffy is sitting there entertaining Renner, like she's gotten Saint to come along and do that doggy snuffle on his tummy, that way he giggles.
Yeah, alright. At some point you put Renner on Saint's back and Saint, like, trots around the room.
She's holding
Miss?
Renner though.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
trust Renner not to fall.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
it's a 4-month-old baby.
Yeah.
Can't really hold himself onto a dog's back.
yeah. Alright, so, like, an hour passes, Nenia, you're just kind of standing there like, what the hell?
Yes, hanging out with Laffy to help with the baby, but otherwise, yeah.
It's like, where did this come from?
Yep.
Last night you got lectured on, like, what it is to fucking
Yeah.
self-sacrifice, and now they're, like, cleaning a house and playing with a baby.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Just, what the fuck, man? Alright, so yeah, like an hour later, Jessica comes shuffling out, and she looks significantly better, but, you know, and she got an hour, so she's good for, like, a day.
Oh God.
She's like,
Yeah.
oh, that smells really good.
Doesn't
Ugh.
it?
She walks over to the table and just collapses in a chair and just waits. She's
Eventually, Bran probably like emerges from the kitchen with just like multiple plates all balanced on his arms, just
Oh my
like
god.
giant piles of like it's like a full course breakfast.
That's impressive.
Toril appears,
Smell of food.
and Jessica looks at him and she says, Tortor, why didn't you ever introduce me to these friends sooner? And he's just, huh?
Because we met when he was about to hang me.
Okay, don't just that makes it
We don't
sound real
need the
bad.
details right now.
During all this, Bran is like very quickly setting the table.
Fluffy looks at Jessica and she's like, "We're not criminals. Just put
No,
it
I
out
accidentally teleported into the middle of town, and he
I
was
think-
rightfully defending it.
I think Grinsweena used to be a criminal or something.
there." Okay,
Pirate.
we're not gonna talk about sailor.
Not in front of the
Keyword-
baby.
You think you would have learned, Ren?
Keyword used to be. I'm hardly a pirate anymore.
Uh-huh. Well, thank you. Tortor, what do you say? And thanks, friends.
You sound like you're going to kill us.
Bran like sets a plate down in front of Toria or Tor. Here you go. All yours, Tor.
And then he just starts
And
eating.
Ren sits down at the table. So how did you and Toriel meet? What you've done, Bran.
She just smiles at you and tells you the story of how they met.
What are the details?
I'm not bullshitting that hard.
They met on a,
Needless
they met
to
on
say-
an elf dating website.
Needless
There you
to
go.
say, it was very mundane and very nice and completely out of character for Toril, and it unveils a side of him that you didn't think existed.
Yeah, they met on Christians.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so breakfast is done. Jessica's taken Renner back from you, Laffy, and Renner's asleep. It was a big morning. And she just looks at you guys and, thank you for the food and the house and the baby and, whew, I think you're the best friends Tortor has. And he just, stop calling me that.
Oh, you guys are cute.
Yeah.
Thank you for actually letting us in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised you didn't just kick us out, Puss.
Oh, you know.
We were glad to do what we could.
Yep. Well, you guys leaving town again, or?
Yeah, we're going to Sigil. We should probably get going. But this was nice.
Oh, yeah. Always nice, you know, when things aren't going wrong.
Yeah.
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 They all just look off into the distance.
They all stare out the window.
The same window.
Yeah.
Alright, so Toril sees you guys off. He's still in his pajamas. You guys are outside and you hear the baby scream.
Right when we left. How awful.
He'll miss us.
Yeah. That's just how babies do.
So, we want to go back to Sigil, right? I'm guessing we're going the fast way.
The fast way?
Yeah, I have a stone that opens up a portal.
Oh.
It's pretty
We should
great.
probably
Sure.
we should probably do that in the town instead of out of the town, since the barrier and all.
Fair. Alright.
Do you mean out to the town?
No, I mean in the town. Like, what if some weird danger goes through the sigil portal? I don't know.
You know, it only stays up as long as I want it to.
I was going
Oh,
to say,
never
won't
know.
it close when we go through it?
Yeah.
All right, well then.
Luffy doesn't know how magic works all the time.
Oh my
What do you
Then
think
fuck
she
it.
is, an ex-wizard?
You're a wizard or something.
Emphasis on X.
We haven't used the stone in a while. Let's just
We
go
used
right
it!
now.
We used it to get there when we all met, Luffy.
Yeah, it's
She's-
been like several days. Now let's go.
And yeah, I guess they go out of the town. Do the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah.
Alright, yeah, you guys, with a loud clap of noise. Oh, excuse me, that was gross. You are popped into your favorite place of Sigil. Wow, it didn't move everything at once, thanks.
Nanny is probably like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Nenny, you've never been here before. You guys immediately appear, like, on the outskirts of Sigil. And it is how it always is. Even on the outskirts, it is loud, obnoxious.
Filled with
In the
weird
distance.
things.
Yeah, and then you see, like, a Tengu wander past. Everyone make a perception check.
Oh shit,
God.
here we go! Perception.
Okay. Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
Oh god, Red!
Alright. Well, let's see what Brand's
The more
is.
things change, the more
Was-
things stay the same.
Was
Yeah.
perception, right? Yeah, perception.
Yeah, perception. Mist and Laffy. Off in the distance, you think you see a Wemmick.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, Luffy grabs Mist's arm and she's like, God,
Yeah, I see it.
holy shit.
Bran like follows their like wherever they're pointing.
It's a
and
Wemmick!
The Wemmick's like,
Miss
Right.
nudges
Okay.
Red. He's like, there's a Wemmick over there.
I mean, Wemmicks are rare, but I mean, I've
You
Not
said you
that
never
rare.
saw one before. The last
never
time we
seen
mentioned them.
one, but a sigil.
Yeah. But they're mysterious and weird.
Oh,
It's like if you put a lion on top of a lion.
I think Shadow needs some context.
Shadow knows what a Wemmick is.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Alright, so after that momentary distraction, Nene, you are just like horribly quiet and in awe and scared.
Yeah, Mist kind of stays close to Nania because she remembers how the rest of them flipped out and she thought it was exciting, so it's like, yeah, everything's rather weird here. Don't worry about the buildings up in the sky. You can actually just keep walking in a direction and you'll eventually go up there. It's rather amazing.
It'll probably be a bit disorienting at first, I suppose. I
Up
don't
is
know.
down and down is up.
And
Also,
time is meaningless. Yeah.
Alright.
There are these, you'll hear a big bong sound, and that doesn't mean anything for some reason. Because,
What?
Well,
Yeah.
it probably does mean something, but we
I
just
don't think
know
anyone
what it-
really knows what it is.
Alright.
But basically, time goes different on different planes, and here it's like no one knows what time it is, since this is the center of all planes.
Oh, yes, congratulations. You're in the center of all that exists.
Thank you.
We are going to see someone that we knew from our plane. I don't know if you've ever been to a shop that was called Aurelian's Amazing Artifices, but he relocated here.
I haven't, no. But alright.
Just,
Him and Drumpton are colorful fellows, so just, you know.
be
Yeah.
patient with them.
Because that's what you need to say to Nania.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Okay.
Nanny is immediately put in her element.
Yeah.
I can do
Trying-
that.
I can do that.
Okay. You guys have been talking while walking.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take you too long to come upon the gaudy shop that is Aurelian's Amazing Artifices. It is... I mean, it hasn't changed much since you were last here. You walk in, and there are a few customers. It seems that despite all of, like, the opulence and splendor and sheer amount of money on display, there's never a lot of customers here at any one given time. Um,
Maybe they get all their money through commission.
Or
and,
us.
and there's your favorite person in all of existence, sitting behind the counter with a book open.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Ah, fuck you. And when you open the door, there's a little jingling noise, and he looks up from his book and, oh, hello. I see you're
Greetings.
back. Hi.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello.
How long has it been?
Oh, time has no meaning. Long enough. I've slept 4 times.
Well, that's
It's like-
something.
But you know,
4 days.
sometimes I just sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, hello. I see you have a new friend. She's cute. Hi, my name's Aurelian. What's your name?
Hello, my name's Nania.
Hi.
She's
He
inside
gets
you.
up and walks over and just offers his hand to you. And you've never seen a tiefling before,
Nope.
so you're
She's
like
trying-
Satan.
what kind of outfit is he wearing?
He's wearing like these rich gold like silk robes
I
that are
really hope he has a
embroidered with
pointy
like
goatee.
yeah. He's got like the pointy goatee. He's got like these rich gold robes with like paisley embroidering.
Oh my god.
He's got like the pointed black goatee, very long black hair between his horns, like deep red skin. A smile that makes you convinced he's going to steal your soul.
Oh my god, the most uncomfortable smile. She's trying very hard to be polite and not stare, and she thought she'd get a handle on it from their walk from portal to store.
Yeah.
But no, this is another thing. She'll take his hand, but her handshake is like non-existent in her like what do staring.
Oh, she's cute. Anyway,
Dear cotton headlight.
she's adorable. Take care of her. Anyway, have you brought anything back for me?
No.
Oh, why are you back then?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, we did see a number of symbols in there.
Uh-huh.
Didn't one of you pick up some of those old magical tools?
Fluffy stays quiet. Fluffy shuffles her feet.
there is something you can look at, but I want it back.
What is it?
It's a book. Mist takes out some of her stuff, and she makes a copy fairly quickly of the symbols, and
Ooh,
she hands them over to Aurelian.
neat.
She's like, do you know anything about any of these?
Absolutely not, but they are neat. And you said these came from the temple you went into?
Yes, they did. They
Interesting,
were all
interesting.
over.
Huh, well,
So here's-
clearly they're
here's-
important.
Here's
Yeah.
some details, by the way, says
Uh-huh.
Laffy, as she slowly and reluctantly begins to put the medical tools on the counter. She's like, so we went out to the desert, and then we went into a temple, and then we came out near Lyria.
Well, that's portal magic. You know, I guess it happens. It seems like whatever the temple was originally, made to was clearly looking out for you. Anyway, I'm going to look at these symbols now, and he takes his time looking at them. Also,
Were you aware that when you wander out into the desert, there is a magic shroud over it that makes you go in circles unless you have a certain
oh yes, I mean I didn't.
visibility?
From what I understood, it had been lifted, but that was the spell that kept anyone from exploring the desert until recently. Why are you
Well,
telling me
it's
that
still
the
there.
Oh,
It is
well.
still there.
We happened across a caravan going into the desert that happened to have these lanterns.
Well,
that
good.
did exactly what we needed them to
I
do.
mean, I presumed that you would have caught on, I suppose, if you were going to get lost, and you would have just turned around and left and came back to me and yelled at me. So, hey, it all worked out in the end, right? And he finger guns.
You can't finger gun your way out of this situation.
Can I hit him with the book now?
Don't hit me with a book. Let me read a book.
I mean,
Just think of it as a really aggressive reading.
No.
Oh, and the magic sword that I had that let me
Uh-huh,
get into the
oh,
ruins in the first
yeah,
place, it's
uh-huh.
gone.
Oh.
I got this in its place though, and Bran pulls out the orb and flicks his wrist with the orb in his hand, and it
Huh.
turns into a rapier.
Well, that's neat.
Yeah, I haven't figured out exactly what it is, but it can do this.
Yeah, he had a sword, and now it's a sword.
He just looks at you laughing. Anyway, what's this about a book?
Mist takes out the book. She's like, I expect this back. And she looks at Relian like, some weird shit's gonna happen if he doesn't give it back.
Sure. And may I see the gem?
Bran just tosses the gem at him. It'll teleport back to me probably.
He
So.
reaches up and grabs it, and it stays in his hand, and he looks at it, and
Oh,
It might
He
just
holds
be
it up
me,
to the light.
honestly.
this is unique. He holds it back for a minute, and I don't actually know what this is. And
Oh,
I
you
mean,
and
like,
me both.
I don't know what it's made out of, even.
Interesting. Though it
What?
would make sense because of the symbol in it.
I don't see any symbol.
Oh, it only appears when I'm holding it.
Oh, well then. He tosses it back to you. Show me.
Bran holds it out and attempts to show him.
Okay, you do, and he titters a little bit. Says, ooh, interesting. Mistress, isn't that your symbol?
It is.
Interesting. Now,
One of the-
what's this
One of those
book?
on there too.
Huh.
And then she shows him. Yeah, she hands over the book, and she's like, "Apparently, you can ask it questions. You write your question down, and it will search through what seems to be the realm of knowledge for anything that it can find."
May I
except
then?
you can no, because we used all the questions. You can only ask 3 a week.
May I still try?
Yes, you can try, but I'd like to
Excellent.
see what you get.
Excellent. He flicks
Time
his
is
wrist, and a
relative,
little
remember?
quill shoots out of his sleeve of his robe, and he catches it and he flourishes it and puts it down on the paper. Just writes, "Hello, dear book," and it replies, "Hi." Oh, interesting. Well, let's see. He writes, "Where are you from?" And it replies, location is relative. He just, huh.
I mean, it's not wrong.
It's not wrong. I see that it's... What's it called again?
It's a book
Miss-
of gold.
Oh,
The Tome of
Tome.
Ghoul.
the Tome of Ghoul.
right.
Interesting. Well then, let's phrase this differently. Where do you originate?
Are you gonna use up all of our questions?
Didn't you already say you used yours?
Is it just from
Susan.
person to person, I wonder?
I don't know.
Like maybe
That would turn out
misused
to be useful. We'd have way more questions than we thought.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. He writes, where do you originate? And it replies, please wait. He's like, oh. And then it scrolls back. I do not like answering personal questions, but ellipses, 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 ellipses. I originate from the plane of Anda, a servant of the realmic deity Leander, ruler of knowledge. Never heard of that before.
Ruler of knowledge. Miss looks at Laffy, and then the X-Files theme starts playing.
Bwah, 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 bwah.
I want to try something.
What?
How old are you? Or he scribbles that out really quick. From what age do you originate from, and can you show me? And the book says, please wait, please wait, please wait, please wait, please wait. He's like, oh.
It takes us some time eventually. Or
Right.
sometimes.
It means it got a big answer.
Whatever it's connected to, it must be a really shoddy connection.
Hmm. Or it's just
In
going
the
back.
distance, you're pretty sure you can hear.
Magic equivalent
oh
of 56K.
Yeah. And it eventually replies, I am not tricked, but the answer is one and the same. I am from the age of fire. And it flashes out and a nice colored map appears.
Oh shit.
And it just says, this is the known world during the age of fire. And then and then the map is left with nothing else.
Mist looks over and she copies it down immediately.
Ren
Okay.
opens her mouth and then closes her mouth and then opens it again.
This was the age of fire. What age are we in now?
Relian just looks up, This is...
Yeah.
What, the age of dark or something?
You're gonna have to ask the book that yourself.
I'm
Fuck
sorry,
you,
Max.
Brett.
I had to make the
Fuck you. Fuck you.
So the age of fire.
Yeah.
You knew I had to
Yeah.
go there.
He just looks and,
Interesting.
he tries writing another question and no ink actually comes out of the pen. Just,
Yeah.
He tries
You've
again
asked
and nothing
for ink.
happens. Hmm.
You only
Well,
get
he's like-
3.
Luffy's like, can I seize a pen?
Sure. He gives you the pen.
Luffy is gonna take the pen and she's gonna draw a miss symbol into it. Like a Google recursive image search.
Okay. Yeah. It swallows the image, and then it just pushes it back out, with a similar but, like, older, more broken version of the symbol, and it just says, the outsider.
Luffy is gonna write, what is the outsider? And then she's gonna draw the symbol real quick.
Okay. It had started to fill in, and then it backspaced when you drew the symbol in. And it does the loading thing again. And then it says, the outsider came after. Changed Realmix.
Wait, what?
Consumed. And it seems this is, like, really broken, and it's having trouble actually saying what happened.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
It says outsider came after, Relmix changed, consumed, and nothing else. And then it replies, yeah, Relmix. The book continues on and says, written records do not extend past this.
Oh, that's awfully cryptic.
Yeah, Offie looks at Mist and she's like, well, I don't fucking know what that is.
It's something. It's something to figure out. All things considered, I imagine much about this symbol would not be able to be conveyed. But I appreciate you trying. Miss totally wrote all of that down.
Luffy draws in the tree.
And it just, underneath a tree, the words Gyandthur, or the word Gyandthur.
Luffy gestures Nenia over and she points and she's like, that means something to you specifically.
It continues to fill in and it says, Relmic of Life.
Oh, Relmics are gods. Or, like, whatever, you know, they got...
If that is the word for what these things are, then these might be forces of nature. Or unnature, in some cases.
So this is the Relmic of Life, which makes sense given what you do, she says to Nenia. And then she's like, and whatever it is that your symbol is changed Relmics. So that's something. Lots more questions, but hey.
Ren, as you look at the map, the large city in the northwest, you don't like it.
Ren squints at the large city in the northwest.
And then you do notice that there's a little symbol, like, right above it. And you're just like, I don't like this.
She squints harder. What is the symbol?
You can't see. It just looks like a marker of some sort.
Fluffy sees Ren squinting and she hands Ren the pen, like, do you have a question?
And Ren... Ren, like, holds the pen and squints at the map, and looks at the pen and looks at the map.
Uh-huh.
And then she hesitantly puts the pen to the paper.
Uh-huh.
And writes, hang on a second, I gotta gotta work out what she's phrasing. Wait a minute. Like, she's looking at the map and she's like, kind of like, wait, I thought Andar was the world.
Yeah.
But it appears to be only part of it in this map.
So it would seem. I mean, this seems to be old, perhaps. I mean, it could be that we haven't found anything yet, but it could also be that, you know, perhaps the world changed, perhaps whatever was in Andar conquered everything else, thus the world became known as Andar. There are many explanations, but...
And Ren writes, like, is the Ashtar portion of the world still accessible in our current age?
Unknown.
And Ren stares at the book. What?
Mist grins without wanting to, but she totally fucking grins.
I will remind you that once Sigil was reconnected, a continent to the northwest was spotted, and people have begun exploring it. Beforehand, it was shrouded in, like,
Yeah.
this perpetual fog that stopped people from going.
Much like the desert.
You know, since this knowledge was collected in the past, it is possible that, you know, that nation that we heard of, it could be that one.
We're gonna be spending a lot of time on our plane.
Ren pauses and she she's coming to the slow, like, dawning realization that they're gonna be spending a lot of time on a ship if they intend to go that way. like it's just like slowly dawning on her. And she for a second she looks super excited.
Yeah, what a boat.
And then she hands the pen to someone else.
Yeah, Mrs. like, Ren, do you want to head over there?
Yes, I want to
The-
immediately go to plan like a potentially endless journey across the ocean on a ship towards a destination that we have no necessary. You can't just hop on a ship and say, "I want to go here."
You
We'll have
you
to find a
go.
ship and a captain, that's willing to do such a voyage
I mean,
as well.
I was just asking because you seemed weirdly interested in that place, and I mean, we could find a way to do it if it works.
Basically,
I mean,
it was on a-
it's an unknown land. Why wouldn't I be interested in it?
Yeah, I was gonna say you said all of that very sarcastically, but I want to believe that you're being sweet.
She said, like, her tone was so stilted that it was obviously a lie. Like,
you hear some scribbling, and you look over and the book is writing in itself, and it just says, "You have one more that I'm giving you. Use this wisely, for the limitations take place after this question." Aurelian just looks at you guys, and I'm not doing it.
Mrs. like, I have so many questions.
Yeah,
but
same.
It's hard
I
to
have so
figure
many.
out what would be the most important. You know,
Luffy is going to go, and she's gonna get the book. She's gonna draw a little map of roughly what she thinks the distance between Anda's whatever and the island is, and then she's gonna write what is the best course to get to here.
The island in the center there?
The island that they're gonna probably go fuck off to.
Well, show me what you
other
mean on the other continent?
Yeah, the one
Okay.
that they're gonna go run
Yeah,
off
you
to.
said island.
Yeah,
Okay, because I was like,
Yeah.
there's at least 3 islands on this map.
sorry.
It draws a line from like that, or
just a straight ass line.
yeah, basically.
She wrote
It's just like-
specifically what the best course to take is. There's more detail than that.
Yeah. Just straight line.
She writes, "Don't be fucking smart with me. Give me better details. There's nautical shit we need to know." And she writes that word for word.
Oh,
It erases everything.
Miss like, well, it's a good thing I copied that down.
We're going in a straight fucking line, I guess. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Let's go. And she closes the book.
Well, you
Aurelian's
know,
like, okay, okay.
What?
do you know anything about any of this, Aurelian? You sound like you have
No,
something
I was going to
say.
say that you know people that probably do, though, so whatever, though.
Oh.
Do we know?
He just stares at you flatly. Never mind.
Are you one of the people?
No, I said no.
I mean, you ended your sentence with whatever,
Perhaps
though.
we should talk about to the Master of Planes or the Keeper of Knowledge.
Are they taking any visitors?
The Lady of Knowledge didn't.
I don't know. I mean,
No, the
after
master
the whole,
might.
after the whole debacle with the demons, I yelled at them until I got a Pegasus, and they eventually gave me one.
So they talk to
Whoa,
you. You know what? I was wondering why the tentacles thought it was a good idea to give you a Pegasus-shaped amulet. That's interesting.
Bran like
Pegasus,
Bran
where
like
is it?
reaches into his pocket and pulls out this like incredibly ornately crafted whistle.
Oh,
It's like it appears whenever I blow on this.
that's
Holy
pretty.
sh!
I kind of want one.
You
What
have
was
a
that?
ghost
Did anyone else hear that?
Yes.
Yeah.
My mic cut out for a second.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought I was like, did everyone hear that, or am I losing my mind?
Yeah, no, my
Is
mic
my
makes
computer being attacked?
my mic makes noise when it cuts out apparently.
Huh.
Anyway, yeah. The master might. It's you guys after all. Which actually might not on second thought.
It's us.
What are you talking about? Everyone loves us.
So much.
Anyway, do you want payment for any of this?
Yes.
I'm
Sure.
keeping the book.
Right, yeah, have the fucking sassy book.
Good.
You want money? What do you want?
Well,
I've got these
Jeez.
cool shoes now, and he gestures at like a panel on the wall, and there are indeed these cool looking boots.
what do those do? Are they just... I mean, they look neat.
They let you float 6 inches off the ground.
They're
Ooh.
called Air Jordans.
I can do that.
That's it though. The shoes float. You don't, so yeah. Or I've got this cool bag of holding, and he gestures to it, and it has wheels on it.
What?
It follows you around, so you don't have to carry it.
We already have a bag of holding and a sock box, though.
Yeah.
You already have a bag of holding.
Well, how about this for Saint? And he pulls something out from under the counter, and it looks like one of those automatic pet feeders.
Oh my god!
Ren like crosses her arms and she looks at him. She's like, "Do you only make gimmicks now?"
It's what sells.
Really?
That must be really boring.
Oh, I don't know. These are kind of fun to make. I get to watch people's pets put their noses up against this little doohickey, and it drops food into the bowl for them. It's quite nice.
You know,
How much
would
is
you be
that?
able to do some...
Oh, I can.
Okay.
I'll give it to you
You've
for
come a
free.
long way, Aurelian.
You can have it. And he just kind of pushes it across the counter at you, Ren.
We don't have the
Red
room
takes
for
it.
that, Red.
Ren takes it and she puts it in the bag of holding.
We don't actually need that. We have a mansion.
Aurelian, actually, I know you're going to do some
We get-
research on those symbols. Would you be able to tell us anything that you find out about them?
Oh, sure.
We get to watch
Excellent.
Saint put his nose on it.
Saint puts his nose on everything. He's a fucking dog.
Ren takes the thing out and puts it on the ground in front of Saint.
He looks at it, looks at you. He tentatively steps over to it, sniffs it, and then boops his nose up against it.
Oh, look at the little boy!
He just kind of looks at you like, I'm doing this for you.
Floppy is immediately convinced that it's the greatest thing ever.
Aurelian's
Well,
like,
I
see,
think
it's
sold
awesome.
on it.
And if you put food in there, it'll just kind of dispense the proper amount. You get to dictate the exact amount too. You see, there's these little levers that you pull inside of it, and it just, never mind.
And Ren pauses and she's like, "What do we feed Saint?"
He gets what he wants in the mansion.
What do you give
Usually
the boy
meat.
who has everything?
Saint just looks at you guys and wags his tail a few times.
I wish we had a ball of return.
Relly goes, I can make that.
Awesome.
Really? Oh wait,
That's what we need.
you know those things that I had made a while ago, and Mist points at the communication thingies.
Oh, yeah.
Pharrell helped with that, but
Yeah.
like, could you give us another one?
Oh, I made plenty. Here, hold on. And he
Oh,
reaches
excellent.
under and slams a box up on the counter, and they're in all different shapes and sizes.
Nania, pick one.
She's
I
probably
feel
had,
like she's just dazzled the entire time, and
right, yeah,
suddenly.
Snaps out of it like, oh.
Just pick one,
It's a
fucker.
telepathic communication device.
Yeah, they're for communicating when you're further away, so if
I've been selling these to
separated or
everyone's
whatever.
sigil.
I mean, you attune them to specific other ones, but yeah, they sell quite well.
I mean, it's a very useful thing.
Yes, thank you, Mist.
Yeah.
I've made quite a bit of coin off of these.
It's fairly revolutionary.
How much are they?
Oh, for you, darling, it's free.
Oh. Thank you.
Just let me
never
see the one that you pick, and I'll make sure it's attuned to these frequencies, and...
Okay. Okay, well, she'll
Buffy
look at
looks at
something.
Nenya, and she's like, he never calls me darling.
You're not a darling, you're a creepy little monster.
Let's be real. Do you really want Aurelian to be calling you darling?
Yes!
No?
Luffy, as if in retaliation, like, hunches over a bit more and skitters onto the counter.
Down! Down! And he's like flapping a sleeve at you.
Lovely, that's amazing.
Someone get her down. She's getting dirty little footprints all over my counter.
Luffy chitters.
Why are you making that noise?
You started this.
That's not a noise a person's supposed to make.
Not
She
all of
hunted
us are
demons
people.
For a year.
From this vantage, she comfortably watches as Nenya takes one of those things out.
She makes absolutely no effort to pick something special after all of that and picks whatever
Okay,
comes first.
Nenia, you get like a nice feather.
Okay.
He's like, good choice, and he touches it and murmurs something under his breath, and there, it's good.
Thank you.
Now please get this thing off of my counter. She's
Red
frightening
light.
me.
Luffy
Red
sprawls.
You know,
Red literally
do
like
what you want.
puts her hands under Laffy's armpits and like lifts her up and then puts her down.
Luffy tries to swing her legs so that they wrap around Ren's waist.
Oh my god.
Holds her awkwardly like, well, I guess this is it.
Relene is just
Are you
watching.
finished?
Saint is just watching.
Luffy, like, Luffy maneuvers herself so that she just hangs upside down and then kind of handstands her way out of it.
Oh my god.
What the
Oh my god.
No, make an acrobatics check for that.
12.
So you try,
Oh my god.
and like, you're about to, you put your hands on the floor, you loosen your legs, and then you just fall on your head. And you take like 3 points of
Fantastic.
bludgeoning damage.
Oh my god.
Bran gives a small applause.
Are you alright, Laffy?
Yeah, I tried, and
It was a good attempt.
yeah, I deserve to be applauded.
Yeah.
Back to Andon then.
Yeah, Miss looks over to Aurelian and she's like, have you figured out anything more about those people appearing with, like, divine powers that were connected to those temples?
Not yet, no.
Hey, you met one?
Oh, did I?
Luffy jazz hands at Marianne.
Yeah.
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 Please don't do that. She like shuffles.
Fluffy
closer
stops
to her.
immediately.
No. She just shuffles over. Doesn't say a word, but yeah. Just like to look at the red man.
Oh my god.
But she'll shyly wave when this is like something she can't escape. And yep.
Right.
That's her.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We would
Well,
appreciate if you
nice to meet you, young lady.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Again, nice to meet you.
Uh-huh. Reming's getting
please.
visibly uncomfortable now that he realizes she's uncomfortable.
Oh my god.
Aw.
Yeah, Mister's just like, yeah, please let us know if you learn anything else about all of that too.
Uh-huh. Will do.
Yeah.
I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. Anyway, let me know what you find. Anything relating to these temples. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
So what are we doing?
I think we're gonna
No,
go see the Master of Planes.
I need to drop by the Adventurers Guild and get back my 40,000 gil.
Oh, alright.
Gil?
Do that
Gil?
first.
Gil?
Gold.
What's a gill?
Oh my god.
Y'all getting on me for it.
Okay, so you guys are going to see the Master of Planes and go to the Adventurers Guild. But guess what? We're doing that next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been 3 hours, so we're good.
Yeah.
Fun times tonight, guys.
Gosh.
Yeah.
You didn't advance the plot like more than a fourth of the way that I planned, but hey!
I'm sorry.
No, it was fun.
90% that was banter.
Yeah, it was fun.
Listen.
All right, stream. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
stream.
Bye.